For Tuesday, I want to do another series of webhost.com tutorial, and today is on HotLink protection. First of all, you're probably wondering, if you don't know what HotLink protection, what it is. HotLink protection is the idea of stopping other websites from embedding or linking to your content. And when I mean that, I don't mean putting a link to an image in HTML document. I mean putting it so the image will display on the page. For example, here on my local host, we have a link to one of my 000webhost websites. The name of the file image there. So at the moment, if I go to the page and refresh it here, it loads up the image. It does load rather fast because Google Chrome has cached it at that point, so reload it there. It's loading that straight down from the server. We had this image, which is for a YouTube thumbnail. That's why it's quite big. But that's an important bit. So with hotlinking protection, that is, what it stops is it stops a user from, or let's say a web designer or a site from showing your content on, like, iframing it in. Images like that, other things like downloadable files, HTML related documents, video files, and anything else. You can do it for all recommended extensions, like it says there. So this stops the website from displaying them on their page. What it also does is it will save your bandwidth. Every month, 000webhost.com, as you probably know, in the control menu, you can see over here, you get 100 gigs, or just under actually 100 gigs worth of bandwidth, which is reasonable for small sites. Bigger sites obviously need more, because there are sites out there that will use terabytes of bandwidth a month, the top ones, or reasonably top ones. And so this will help bring down the amount of bandwidth used. Normally, if your site's small and doesn't have that many images, it shouldn't use up that much bandwidth. Anyway, so what you do here basically is very simple. All you have to do, as you can see here, block directory access. For this one, I'm just going to choose images. Just for this example, if you block all, it will do the same thing. For example, if you iframe in an HTML document and you click do all extensions, it will block it as long as it's got one of these extensions at the end. So here we are. We just want to just kind of put the URL of the thing we want to direct to, which is the main page of the website. And now the tick box we have it, allow direct access, for example, entering the URL into your web browser. Well, in my opinion, that's perfectly reasonable because that's not on somewhere else. So yeah, we're going to click that. We're going to go enable protection. Oh dear, there's something wrong with that. It does sometimes not. The protection's already. No, it isn't already enabled. Right, it's saying it's already enabled on this account, which apparently it is. There's that. Okay, so first of all, this thing's a bit buggy because it just enabled it, although the URL entered was wrong. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to disable it again. Enable it, because that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't do that. So we just click there, aim again. We're going to go on images for the example, enable protection. It does this, improve be applied in a second couple of seconds. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds for it to be applied on the server, which is a reasonable time. So we now go back over to our local host document with this image being linked in from that site. If I now go refresh, it can't, the Google Chrome or your web browser sends a request to the server, and it won't return it because it's blocked. So if we now go, because Google Chrome has this feature, open image in new tab, this will, sometimes it should allow it and sometimes it won't. In this case, it's returned the page not found for the system that's set up on the server, although I told it to allow users to allow direct access. So it is, to be honest, it may just be the system on the server, not this. So the idea is just to stop access. To be honest, you may not want to link it. What some people get confused is you can still link things to you on your own. This is where the problem is. If you link to your own account, your own domain, it should work depending on hosts, depending on some things, but in other cases it may not. This is where a service called Cloudflare comes in, which I use on the Ucreators website. What it does is it caches your site, and there's HotLink protection blocks everything straight out. But they created that you can have, you put anything, run anything to a domain which is hot-links. This won't work for the 000webhost one, and it will automatically allow you to show that, which is quite a nice feature. But so now if we go and turn this off, in theory, so we go disable this configuration or remove this configuration, it should. I don't know why it's no. Before, I'm not quite sure why it came up with the page not found. It shouldn't have done there because it was set to show the image. So it may just be the configuration of how I have the system set up, or the CMS set up on that bit of the server. So it shouldn't work. It should work perfectly well with any other server. I would recommend. I'm going to do another video on Cloudflare, so check out for that video about Cloudflare and what really it is. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you around.